Good morning and welcome to our 10 minutes at 10 today. Today we are going to talk about knowing your product. So one of the challenges that most businesses have is learning how to grow their business and how to grow it profitably. And we see this quite a lot with our clients. They want to grow and they know that they need to have something that they're going to grow their business with. So the first step we always start with is, what is the product? What do you have to offer? So what is your skill set and your core expertise? What are you known for? Quite typically, we have customers that perhaps have a skill set or a passion for something, but actually they want to do something else entirely. So it might be a byproduct or a complementary product, but they haven't necessarily thought through what it might be or how it might be delivered. If it's something that you've got a true passion for or an expertise in, then it becomes a lot easier to understand what it is that you might be able to grow your business with.
Mm. And then also, if you do have the passion for it, you'll find you actually sell it better as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a really key one. Now, a lot of these that we've covered so far are stuff which might potentially sound obvious, but they're really not. And the reason we say that is because we've seen the odd situation where, say, one of our clients or a potential client is looking to grow their business, and they think, oh, I've got a fantastic idea, I've got this, I've got that.
Yeah, it's
But
the
then
ideas, isn't it?
yeah, the
Yeah.
ideas in reality, you've got to take it back to basis and work out whether it's actually going to work, and then actually analyze what you've got before you just rush into it. So, firstly, is it actually profitable what you're doing? Really, really valuable there, because there's no point doing it if you're looking for profitable growth and you're not actually going to make profits out of the product. It is pointless. So if you have a product that you're planning to sell to, say, the consumer, but you find your market is actually only for the wholesaler, it completely changes your marketing
Mm.
strategy, the profit you make per product, and it massively changes that. And I have seen that happen in an instance, and that is quite problematic. Are you selling time? Are you selling hours? That one is crucial to understand exactly how you're going to sell it, how you're going to structure it, and actually, is it going to get you the return you're looking for?
Yeah, and one of the challenges that people often don't think about when they start to sell time, of course, is whether they've got the capacity to sell more time, and how you're going to manage that. That's a real challenge.
Yeah, especially if you've got all the business hats on, you're working 20 hours a day already.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. So, if you're selling time or hours, one of the things that you might want to consider is whether you can enhance a physical product or a service that you're delivering with an information product. So maybe you could create an ebook or a masterclass or a seminar or something that people are going to subscribe to, that you could create once, but you could sell to many people. Perhaps you could build an information product or an online course where people are following a funnel and going down the funnel to find your particular product, to go and learn a particular skill or a particular talent, or a demonstration of something. We see an awful lot of businesses where they have a skill set or an expertise in one area or a consultancy, and they are delivering it on a one by one basis. So it's always by the hour. So they're constantly having to sell new hours. Yet the skill or the knowledge is something that could quite easily be built into a masterclass or an online product, and wouldn't be too difficult to put onto a website and have an opt-in box, or a product purchase box, a commerce box, to allow you to then purchase that course. Now, of course, you've still got to drive traffic to that course or that product. That's a completely different issue. But the product itself is something that you might be able to develop alongside your existing products and services, particularly if there's something that you deliver. Maybe it's a training or an advisory service or something like that, but the client might forget, or it was a lot of information all in one go. So perhaps an online course or a seminar would also help them to retain the information that you have originally delivered. So it might be a follow up to something that you've already delivered.
There's a lot of choices actually. There's a lot out
Yeah,
there you
yeah.
can do. You can be a little bit creative with that one as well.
I think so. And then something like this, bringing people into a Facebook group and delivering something live, you only need to do, say, 10 minutes a day and, check the engagement, check how people are watching, check how people receive what you're delivering. So you can deliver something that's fairly informal to a Facebook group that you might already have. And it in itself could then lead you to developing a product.
Mm. Possibilities are
Which is a
endless.
bit more,
It is
very similar to the way that we work.
Yeah. Another thing is it actually scalable.
Yes.
So you might have a list of products. You might have some which are high margin, some which are low margin. You might be looking, thinking, okay, I can scale these products. The reality of the situation is, if you can only pick one, choose the high margin product, because the low margin products obviously come with more risk. If you're not making as much margin on it, you've not got as much wriggle room. If prices change, etc., it's more problematic. And why would you not want the high margin products to sell? Like, why would you not want to sell more of those?
Yeah, I think sometimes the challenge is sometimes it's a product that's high margin, but it might be the easiest, or it's low margin, it might be the easiest one to deliver. But if it's not going to deliver you a high margin, do you really want to do more of it? One of the challenges in these cases, if you've got a high margin product, a low margin product, is the more you sell of that product, the worse your other business issues like cash flow, like collecting your cash, like servicing the client, like delivering all of your low margin product. It becomes more and more problematic. So instead of growing a profitable business, you end up growing a low margin short cash flow business, and it just becomes a bigger and bigger problem the more you grow it. So if you find that your business has an underlying low margin or many low margin products, can you move away from those and focus on the high margin ones? Now, if you don't know which products are high margin or low margin, you need to go back to the basics again and go back through your profitability and look at your P&L and how you're analysing your costs, and how can you cut your costs, can you improve your prices before you start thinking about growing that area of your business. So you always come back to basics, don't you, on something like that? Really important. So is this your product or is this somebody else's product? So if, for example, you're selling somebody else's product under license, what you'll get is perhaps a commission or a margin on a sale you're making for someone else. Well, that's great, but could you build your own product or create your own product that's better, that's got a bigger margin, that services the needs of the customer more efficiently? Could you do something that's already been done, but do it better? Perhaps just the very fact that it's you delivering it is what makes that product better. Perhaps you've got more insight into that area or that skill set than the person that's already delivering it. I mean, there are many, many trainings, for example, consultancies, trainings, personal development, spiritual growth, that kind of thing out there on the marketplace. But if there's someone who you particularly like or you particularly want to follow, then that would make you more inclined to buy that product. It's the same for your customers. Would your customers be more inclined to buy something that you made rather than something that you're delivering on behalf of somebody else?
And in that one, refer back to your skill set, your expertise, your passion, because quite frankly, you can differentiate product just by being you. As long as you have the confidence to do so, just know that people will buy you, not necessarily the product in some of these instances. So really think about what you have to offer and how you can do it differently.
Yeah.
And then also think about the capacity.
Yeah.
Do you have the capacity to actually do it? Could you spend those extra few hours creating a new product? Could you actually sell more of a physical product? Do you have the storage space? Do you have the machinery in place to be able to produce more quantity if you needed to? I'd say capacity is probably one of the biggest problems in growth, because it's one of those things that people think, oh, the idea is fantastic, but then if you actually look at the capacity, you can't scale as fast as you want to or as profitably as you want to, and then all of a sudden you get much more problems incurred because you get restricted. So worth considering your capacity before you commit to delivering growth. And that's why it's important to consider high margin products, because if you do have a capacity it's limited, you want to maximize on that rather than producing lots of low margin products. If you can produce lots of high margin products in its place without breaching your capacity, it's going to be more better. It's going to be more beneficial for you as a got tongue tied over there. It's going to be more beneficial for you as a business.
And also, if you can develop more high margin products, you can then retire the low margin products, so your whole business benefits overall,
Yeah.
which means more profit for the business and more cash for you, which is great, isn't it? That's what we all want. So one of the other challenges that we often see with clients and people we meet through networking events, things like that, is lots of people have the idea and they want to build a new product, they want to do something, but they don't necessarily have the time to do it. And that's a real challenge. So something that sits on your wish list or your to-do list for, you know, several months, it ends up being weeks, then it's months, and then it's years. And then we sometimes have the same conversations with people a year on. You know, how's this product? How are you doing with this? Oh, well, you know, haven't really got it off the ground, haven't really done this, haven't really done that. And if that's you, one of the things that I would recommend, and this is what we do, is we get up, or I get up a little bit earlier in the morning, and I spend the time before the kids get up and before the family starts waking and moving around, before the lads come into work, and then I will do my brainstorming, my product development, and get things ready to discuss with everybody else when they get up, and then we can progress it through the day. So it's all about scheduling that time into your diary, even if that means getting up a little bit early.
That's probably
It's all
easier
about
if
making
you've
a
got
plan.
a teen than a baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you've got a teen who goes to bed at 4 a.m, wakes up at 4 p.m, it's easier than having a baby who wakes up every hour.
Yes, but then, you know, when babies are that young and they're not moving around, you're tired, but you're not actually doing a lot. You're kind of stuck housebound for a lot of it, or you go to the park and go walk to, so you can you know, have headphones on, you can dictate to your phone. There are ways around everything, which you'll know if you've you know, had kids. You have to find a way to get stuff done. So then finally, with your product, you need to understand what the features and the benefits and the meanings are. So some people call it features and benefits, but I quite like this definition, which is features, benefits, and meanings. So your features is what it has. It's physical attributes. So an umbrella, for example, might have strong spokes. It might have wind-resistant materials. It might have multiple patterns, and it might have, say, a wooden handle. And then the benefits are what your product does for your client. So this one might be a strong, stylish brolly, comfortable to hold, that protects you from the wind and the rain. So when you're talking about the features and the benefits of your product, you have to talk about them from your client's perspective. So what's in it for them? They don't care that your umbrella might have, you know, a strong construction and that it's made of a durable steel, then it has an ergonomically designed handle. What they care about is it's comfortable to hold, it's not going to blow away in the wind or go inside out, and it's not going to drip rain all over the floor. The meaning to your customer is what that then purveys. So try and take the benefits of the product and turn it into, try and paint a picture with the words. So for example, for your umbrella, you might be arriving home dry, relaxed, ready to spend the rest of the evening with your family, rather than being stressed, harangued, soaked. You've got to go and dry your hair, you've got to go and change your clothes. So instead, your client is going to come home dry, relaxed. They're going to be clean, their hair's not going to be ruffled, they're going to be smiling. You know, it's a much more positive picture of the benefits of using your product. So you need to think about that. If you can't find that kind of benefit or imagery, what is it that your product is going to deliver for your customer, then you need to go back to the basics and rethink them.
Basically back to basics in a lot of the situations, to
Yeah,
be honest.
it is. And you know, it's the same for a lot of things. If you want to build something that's profitable and going to save you time, that is going to generate more cash, that is going to help you to grow your business more effectively, then you do need to go back to basics, and you need to plan and design that growth and not just rush into it without thinking about it. We see that a lot. People investing time and considerable amounts of money in ideas that they haven't perhaps thought of, or they haven't thought about the customer, they haven't done their market research, they don't know their product, they don't really know the offer, they don't know the customer that they're going to market to. So they end up with lots and lots of overhead and very little sale, and they very quickly find themselves in a really difficult financial situation, which is very hard to get out of.
Yeah.
Now, if you went back to basics and you planned everything to begin with, and you thought about everything and you designed your product and you design your offer, you've got a much better chance of making a successful product that grows your business and doesn't stunt your business. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for joining us. If you've enjoyed today's video, please let us know in the comments. And if you have any queries or questions, please mark them in the comments and we'll get back to you a bit later. So we'll be back tomorrow. So we'll see you soon. Bye for now.